It's the first film of Studio Ponoc, and for its first attempt, it was pretty okay.
I mustn't give up. I made a promise. We are going home together, all of us. Give me your hand!
Mary and the Witch's Flower is a 2017 Japanese animated film directed by Hiromasa Yonabayashi, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, who directed The Secret World of Ariete and When Marnie Was There.
The film centers around a young girl named Mary who finds a mysterious flower that can give her the power to become a witch for only one night. She finds herself in the world of a magical school as she uncovers many secrets about the school and about herself.
The studio that created this movie was Studio Ponoc. Now, after Hayao Miyazaki retired after making The World Rises, though he has of course started working on his final movie, many animators went to form its own studio, Studio Ponoc. So it's great to see this kind of animation and storytelling live on, and I hope that they continue to make more films after this one, mostly because Mary and the Witch's Flower was a tad underwhelming to me. And not that I'm saying that it's a bad movie or anything, but well, let's just talk about it. Now, of course, since a lot of animators from Studio Ghibli worked on this movie, the animation is, of course, spectacular.
I will never get tired of seeing this kind of animation, and I was fortunate enough to see it on a big screen, and the animation was stunning. There are a bunch of moments that really astounded me and took my breath away. The magical moments are, of course, the best. I loved whenever Mary flew around in the sky on her little broomstick. Even without Miyazaki's touches, Studio Ponoc, just like Studio Ghibli, can really emulate the sky and flying very well. Again, I cannot stress this enough, the animation in this movie is breathtaking. The characters and their designs are great, the backgrounds are gorgeous, the creativity in the scenes are amazing, and oh my fucking god, nobody animates food as well as these guys do. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
The music is also great as well. The pieces that play during moments of magic are spectacular and really set the mood of the scene. And the quiet pieces helps the atmosphere in the moments that the movie needs to be soft and slow. The perfect combination of animation and music that these movies present are always amazing, and I'll never get tired of them. I saw this movie dubbed, and the voice acting was pretty good as well.
We have Ruby Narnhill as our lead Mary, Kate Winslet as the head mistress of the school, and Jin Broadbent as the school's lead scientist, and they bring some nice British charm to the movie's European setting. I don't know how the original Japanese audio sounds, but I think the British accents will suit us as an English-speaking audience more than the Japanese voice acting will.
But then again, I haven't heard the sub of the movie, so I don't know how it sounds in comparison. And unfortunately, that's where the positives end, because even though the technical aspects of the movie, being the animation, music, and voice acting, are spectacular, the story and characters are pretty lackluster. Or should I say, is just 100% serviceable. And I think most of it has to do with the main lead, our Little Witch Mary.
Now, while she's a perfectly fine female lead who does good, always wants to help, and wants to save those in danger, she's pretty forgettable. She doesn't have any kind of arc throughout the movie, and she just kind of stumbles onto all of this. She doesn't work towards anything significant, and her journey is a little boring.
For example, she's praised at the school for being able to do hard magic like flying on a broomstick and becoming invisible, but we as an audience know that it's only because of the flower that Mary finds.
Now, while there are moments where Mary has to make some hard decisions that could put her life in danger, she doesn't really work towards anything significant. Without spoiling anything, the final resolution that Mary has makes it seem like that she hasn't learned anything throughout the entire movie. She doesn't feel like she changed from beginning to end.
I don't see young girls looking at Mary and saying, I want to be like her, like they maybe would for characters like Kiki or Nausicaa.
The villains are also pretty forgettable. They never feel like they pose a threat to our characters, and they aren't that enjoyable either. Maybe if they had unique powers or some crazy personalities, it would make them better, but everything that they are and their powers are just versions of things that we've seen before.
Even when you learn their ultimate plan, it doesn't really make complete sense. It always feels like there's another way they can go about completing what they want to accomplish, and you kind of forget about them as the movie ends. The story itself is also very simple and a little too by the books. It doesn't do anything that surprises you or introduces you to something that you haven't seen before. It's all just basic. The backstory that you learn towards the third act of the film, which talks about Mary's family and how she's connected to all of the events of the movie, actually sounds pretty great. When I was listening to it, I thought that I would rather see that movie than the movie that I was currently watching. With all of these negatives that I'm giving, you'd probably think that I didn't enjoy Mary and the Witch's Flower. And that's not true. I liked it fine, and thought that it was just okay.
While the story and the characters weren't really that enjoyable, they weren't bad at all. Just completely serviceable. Thankfully, the animation, music, and voice acting help elevate this movie from being unwatchable. And those aspects are definitely worth seeing the movie to me. And I'm ultimately glad I saw it in theaters.
Quickly, I want to talk about one thing in the movie's favor that I wanted to save for the end. When I saw the movie, there was a little girl sitting behind me. I'd say she was about 6 or 7 years old. Throughout the movie, she was excitedly talking to her mother about really liking the movie. She would gasp and express moments of worry when Mary was in trouble, and it really sounded like she had a great time. And it's really nice to think that Mary and the Witch's Flower might be this girl's first introduction into Japanese animation, like Spirited Away was to people of my generation. And that thought really makes me happy. I'm going to give Mary and the Witch's Flower a B-. Even if Studio Ponoc only makes films of this quality, I will always go see them because I'm a huge fan of this style of animation. So if you like Studio Ghibli films or just animation in general, go see this movie when you have the chance. Because even movies created by these people that turns out as just okay are very spectacular when compared to most American animated movies that come out these days. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.